All right, we're here with the man, the myth, the legend, Richard Wattle. And what else you do?
What else I do? Top 8 Pandemonium Regionals. I didn't win it. I got 7th because of Doug Z.
All right, what'd you do it with?
Pendulum Magician. Not the FTK version because I'm not about that life.
All right, let's get into this. It's
not really my style. But, all right, so we played 3 Astrograph, 3 Chronograph, and the 2 cards you have to play. You wouldn't change any of these. These are very stable, very standard. I played the Mythical Beast Engine, just these 5. I was playing Cerberus, or not, it's not Cerberus. I played Blashlisk like for a long time, just like a lot of the other people do with this deck. But I felt like it wasn't necessary. It didn't do enough, so I cut it for another card, which I will get to eventually. 3 Hamster. This card is like one of the best cards in the deck, not counting Astrograph. A lot of people will tell you that you need to make 3 Electrums before you Pendulum Summon to be able to do the full combo, which is not true at all, and that's because of this card. Like, if you have 1 special summon in your hand, you are doing the combo every single time, which people do not realize. Like, I was playing against a guy at Regionals, he's like, I like, had 1 Electrum and Astrograph on board, and he's like, oh, too bad you don't get the full combo, and I'm like, oh, too bad I'm doing that. So, yeah, 3 Curtain Raiser, just because it complements Hamster really well. It's a really good starter card. You play 3. Every Magician, you played all the good ones. 3 Purple, 3 Black Fang, 3 Harmonizing. I played 3 Wisdom Eye. This card is insane, especially insane in this deck, because like one of the things with this deck is you always want to, like there's very few hands where you're not activating your first Electrum's effect, playing around hand traps or not, and that's because of this card. It's going to let you go into Elf Dragon and do other things. Because if that first Electrum resolves without a hand trap, you're full comboing them every time, so basically you want your deck to be able to not have to play around hand traps by being, in the situation where you can't play that card. I played 2 Elf Dragon for that reason, and the card I cut Basilisk for was Jiangxi Magician. This card just seems like way more impactful than Basilisk. It does a lot, and actually, like, to the same point I was saying earlier, is when you're playing around hand traps and you're always throwing your first Electrum into a Ghost Ogre potentially, this card being in your deck lets you do the most, because at that point, if you're Pendulum Summoning 4, this card coming on off Harmonizing lets you do more than just bringing out like a level 4 Magician, and like I said, you always want to be using that Electrum effect. So there's certain circumstances where you won't, and that's where if you can't Pendulum Summon 4, if you can only do 3, you're just not even going to take the chance, because like Pendulum Summoning 3 is shit and you won't do anything. So this card lets you make Vortex plays and do a lot of other things through those hand traps, since you're always wanting to play that first, or activate that first effect. That's it for the monsters. 34, I think it was, because I played 6 spells, so doing the math, 3 Allure, 2 Desires, and 1 Upstart Goblin. Very standard for this kind of deck. No trap cards, you're just playing Electromite Turbo, so that's the whole point. Onto the very diverse extra deck that still loses a D-Barrier. You play like a lot, one of everything, but you still lose a D-Barrier. Play 3 Electromite, you have to play 3 of this card, it's how you full combo. Like I said, you don't have to make 3 before you Pendulum Summon. It's actually just really insane, and I feel like a lot of people are underestimating this deck, and when I watch Pendulum players play this deck, most of them are so bad, they don't know what they're doing. So, like, it creates this really weird format. I played Ib because it's the best card to go into off of your Absolute to complete the combo, because this card is protected by the firewall that's pointing to it. It also protects the firewall, and it lets you do plays where they will summon a card, or bait out the firewall effect, and you're adding an Astrograph back from your graveyard, or a Purple Poison back from your graveyard. And then when you, on Resolution, like I've done this before, we're chaining it to Raigeki, you'll chain Firewall first, obviously. Resolution, you use Ib's Continuous Effect, put it in graveyard, you can trigger your Firewall to then special summon, like a Purple Poison or something, which changes a lot of the game. Plays that from Battletron, you only play this card, you only make this card when you brick or you get hand trapped. That's pretty much about it. Firewall, I think it's 13, it's 12 cards in this extra deck you go into in a standard turn. Firewall being one of them. I played Borlo Dragon. I think this card it's not necessarily a staple, but it's really too good not to play, especially since one of the most powerful plays in this deck is make a rank 7 and then go into a Link monster, and bringing out one of the best ways to break a board or to take control of a game is to make Absolute with other cards, and then go into this and then bring out Vortex and bounce a card, and then you take a card, and it's pretty good. I played 1 Vortex Dragon because it's part of the combo. Like I said, the 2 fusion monsters that you also can't make if you get D-Barrier, doesn't matter. So played this card. Now, I didn't play the FTK, so this is for hope. You go into Hope. It's like probably one of the best cards, honestly, in the deck. Like in terms of the ending board, this card lets you not lose to so many things. Putting this in defense mode against the mirror means you don't lose to purple poison. It also means that like they can't have purple poison scale with a Black Fang and attack you. Go straight to damage calc. They can't do that. It plays around what's his name, Eater of Millions. It plays around so many cards. It allows them not to bait out your Firewall in battle phase and do a lot of shit like that. Like Hope is just insane. It makes this combo like almost nearly unbreakable outside of like crazy hands. But like honestly, it's like almost never happened. Absolute Dragon. So obviously you make it into Vortex. 2 rank 4s I played was a Tornado Dragon and a Dweller. This card obviously there's a lot of utility with it. You make it against True Draco when you sit down against your opponent and they look like they're playing True Draco, you confirm that they don't have an extra deck, and you make this turn 1. A lot of the things that I see a lot of Pendulum players not doing too is like if they go into a rank 4, they sacrifice a lot of their combo, one of it being Hope, and actually like when you do rank 4 plays, you're just substituting Jackal for the rank 4. It's the same exact thing. You still have Ib, Firewall, Vortex, Hope, and a rank 4. So, I mean, the only difference is that you have to put Vortex in your extra deck zone. Also, in like other YouTube videos, people will tell you to put Vortex in your extra deck zone. It makes 0 sense. You do not do that. You bring out Ib, you put Vortex next to it, you're protecting Firewall and Vortex, seeing as they're like your 2 best monsters, and you go from there. The only Synchro I played was Ignister. Best card to break boards and to bait out back row against like decks like Trickstar and stuff like that. I find this card way more valuable than the Raigeki Dragon. Just because like it's never really a problem. Like this deck, I'm not losing to monsters on the board or anything like that. Like what I want to do is summon this card against decks like Trickstar or blow out the mirror with it and bait out a Scapegoat, something like that, so you don't lose. That's it for the extra deck. A lot of diversity. I played not a lot of diversity in my side deck. I have the same deck as Gable Lally. He topped the Hawaiian regionals last weekend, I think, with my deck. And this is basically the same, except, it's not a Pineapple regional, so I guess you could, like, take this a little bit more seriously. So I played 3 Ash just because it's so good against everything. 60-card decks are a pain in the ass, and I don't want to lose to them, but, you still will. And I sided Cherries for the mirror, only for the mirror, because... like, this is one of the few cards, like, right now the problem is that, like, people compare my deck to FTKs a lot just because they can't play, and that's retarded. Because, while I strictly lose to cards like Cherries a lot of the times, so does the FTK, but they don't if they hard draw Instant Fusion and Assortment, like a lot of the cards, you can still lose through getting them hand-trapped. And, it changes the whole meta when, you can side Sphere mode because you don't have to draw hand-traps and not get FTK'd, which would make my deck worse, obviously. So... to go along with that, like I played 3 Ogre. I side these in going second against the mirror. A lot of the times if I'm playing someone who I haven't been playing for the last 4 weeks who knows I'm going to make them go second, I will go second. And I'll put these 6 cards in and hopefully blow them out with one of them. If not, they probably don't know how to combo anyway, so I win that game. Or they like side weird, so they lose. I have not really, like, outside of actually you today, Charles, I haven't really lost a mirror in like a month. And then outside of the 9 hand traps I played for the assortment of like decks, mostly for the Mirror and Ash for like 60-card decks and other stuff it's good against, like Trickstar, Invoked. I played 3 Cosmic Cyclone. This is really good against Draco. In my experience, and obviously in like the YCSs lately, like Draco is good again because people don't know what they're doing. And like I feel like one of the biggest reasons why Pendulum lost or didn't win or didn't top 8 the Salt Lake City YCS is because a lot of Pendulum players like were not ready for Draco or they weren't playing properly or they weren't playing Ib. I don't know what it was, but like a Mono Watto even with Raigeki isn't even that much of a blowout. Then they have to have those 2 cards if you make it a close game. So the last like 3 cards I played was evenly matched. These are going in against Draco. A lot of the times if I don't know what they're going to do in terms of like making me go first or second, I'll still put these 6 cards in if they make me go first. And I draw these 6 cards and I have a combo play, I will just pass because they're not going to kill me. And then I'll have like a huge advantage in the mirror, or not in the mirror, against that matchup and just out-tempo them. Same thing, like I just feel like this deck, you lose to back row, and these are the cards that like most efficiently out back row decks. Unless you're Doug Zeef because you're playing Paleo and I'm going to lose to you anyway. It's like going to happen. So that is that's the deck, like the main extra inside. I feel like I had a million things I wanted to say in this profile and like things I wanted to let you guys, like I wanted to elaborate on, but I don't know. Like, I don't know. So, shout out to Doug Zeef. He beat me 2 Panda Regionals in a row with Toad Anti-Spell. He's a god. I'm lucky I topped still. So, let me see. Shout out to Team RW, rwhobbies.net. without Tim complaining all the time and Charles driving him around, and we have this interesting dynamic where like actually nothing gets done. I wouldn't have played the same deck for a month. I don't know. I feel like this deck is really good. Like I said, there's so many ways to do the combo. Do not think you need to make 3 electors before you Pendulum summon. Literally one special summon will get you there every single time. Yeah. Closing, I don't know. Shout out to the team. Shout out to Dexter. Glad he's back in the game. Shout out to the Jabron. I didn't borrow any cards from him, but no one really shouts the guy out. He doesn't get enough credit. He doesn't really get to do deck profiles because he doesn't
He did one.
Yeah.
AAG Detroit.
Shout out to Ediception. He topped with Magical Musketeers. Didn't talk to him about Pendulum at all, but I like him a lot.
That's cool.
Shout out. Yeah, I don't know. So help me close this out. I don't know what to say, Charles. Is there something I'm forgetting?
Anything notable, or if you nothing off the top of your head, I think.
You know what? Fuck it, Charles. Okay, no, never mind. Yeah, we're fine. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do the comment.
Nachos be in the description.
Shout out to Jeff. Just like Dexter said, Voltage was a great store, and Pando on Friday is terrible. So our locals are pretty bad right now. Well, whatever.
All right.
Closing thoughts.
Have a good night.